Are you Tony Stank?
I am Iron Man.
Stank, stank, stank.
Genius billionaire playboy from up the coast.
You stank. You stank.
I am Iron Man.
Hello and welcome once again to Stark or Stank. My name is Aaron and I'm here with Josh.
How do you pronounce it? Aaron, because it's got two A's to start with.
Aaron. Aaron. Aaron.
Aaron.
Ah.
Well, Aaron. You got frightened while writing your birth certificate.
That's what happened. How are you?
Yeah.
We watched What If this week.
Apart from that, I'm doing fine. Yeah. We watched What If, and that was good.
So we're going to talk about that on this episode of the show where we
Predominantly, yes.
talk about MCU things.
And rank things, which I'm prepared. Definitely prepared.
Absolutely 100% didn't just finish your list of anything.
Nope.
You've been
not
set
just
for days.
Literal days I've been ready.
Mhm.
And now I get to try and figure out what my Letterboxd account details are again.
Yay! I'm bringing up something that I'm going to need later.
Oh, exciting.
No, it's just I need to know what next week's show is.
Yeah, okay. If I want to, I'm going to take a guess off the top of my head. Is it Shang-Chi?
It is Shang-Chi.
Oh, it's exciting.
Fuck yeah.
I enjoy watching the Marvel movies. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't been excited to watch one of these for an episode for a while, and Shang-Chi might be the first one in a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
same
fuck
for
yeah.
me. You know, I like Loki a lot, but I've seen it,
And
a
also
few
it's a full
times.
series. It's hard to get excited about that.
Exactly. But Shang-Chi's got cool action fight scenes. I'm a big fan.
It does. Yep.
But this week we're talking about what if. What if this episode was about what if? That's the question we're asking, and we're about to find out what if. Here's some trivia.
As we got
Yes.
Okay, here's
What?
some trivia for you for my rewatch. As we got progressively further and further through the episodes, and the watcher is doing his little spiel about the timelines and universes and multiverses and infinite stories at the start of every episode,
Mhm.
and it goes into the title of ask the question, what if? I would start to just replace it with other questions like how do, for what?
Okay. Sure.
That's how my rewatch went.
Maybe that's a different show they can make.
For what, bitch? For what?
Okay, let us talk about trivia. I'm just checking
Please,
the
give me
audio
some
levels
trivia.
here. This show was planned to be animated in 2D early in the animation process, in the planning process, with director Brian Andrews even pushing for it due to disliking cell shading. Eventually, it was switched to the design scene now due to time constraints and a large amount of effort 2D animation would have taken, which, I mean, I'm not surprised. It is Disney, and they fucking hate 2D animation these days, so...
Which is wild considering their roots.
Exactly. That's considering their whole fucking company was built on it.
It's
Nah.
so fucking hard, man. And I get it, and the result is they got a result, I guess.
They got a result
thing.
that could have been
A result was made.
probably, but anyway.
Sure, could have been worse though. Could have been not made because it's too hard and would have cost a lot of time and money.
Yeah, I suppose. Before it was officially announced, the show was originally planned to be 1 season and 23 episodes long, with each one centered around each movie in the Infinity Saga. But production constraints forced Marvel to split it into what was eventually announced to be 2 10-episode seasons. When the COVID-19 pandemic began, the season episode count was dropped to 9 episodes each, seemingly meaning that for all future seasons of the show going forward, they will each be 1 episode shorter than they would have been prior to March of 2020. Yes.
That is a lot of information to take in there. A single 23 episode season
Yeah.
would have been something, especially if it was just like, hey, we're doing a what if for every single movie.
Thank fuck they didn't do that, because we would have had to watch
This-
23 episodes this
This
week.
rewatch would have gone much differently. I
Uh-huh.
probably wouldn't come out of it as positive as I have.
Probably not.
But I mean, that's cool. What if Iron Man 2 was a good movie? Is that what that one would have been? Oh, I actually assume we got the what if that would have spawned from that.
We did, yeah. So yes, we'll get to the episode that they dropped soon, because it does play
Yeah, one that
into
sort of
the
ties in.
overall show.
And the fact that there is an overall thing is kind of interesting too.
Mhm.
Like when it was first pitched, I think we all assumed that it was going to be this anthology thing, and then the penultimate and ultimate episodes,
Yeah.
are just like, hey, it's not just fun stories; we're also doing a thing,
Yeah,
which is neat.
it's yes,
And it would have been harder to do with 23 movies.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. This is Chadwick Boseman's last Marvel project before his death. A spin-off series featuring T'Challa's version of Star-Lord was planned, but was cancelled after his death in 2020.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Super unfortunate, because he's in this show a lot. Like, more than I forgot he's in a lot of episodes, and he's really
He
good.
has one episode focused on him specifically. He features in another one very heavily, and then
Yeah.
that episode, like where it all ties up,
Mhm.
features his prominent Star-Lord one.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's in it a bunch. You know who else is in it a bunch? Not Robert Downey Jr.
Absolutely not. There is someone who
And
kind of is doing a Downey, but not.
he's trying to do a Downey.
He's trying to. An episode pitch involving the Guardians of the Galaxy was suggested for the first season, but it had to be scrapped after AC Bradley was told that she had inadvertently written half the plot of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So
Whoops.
there's actually a few of these. One episode idea that AC Bradley came up with would have involved Loki becoming worthy to wield Mjolnir. The idea was discarded early on, however, as the idea of Loki becoming a hero was already in the works for his own show. And then there was going to be an episode that would have consisted of Spider-Man turning into an actual spider, which...
Man Spider.
Yeah, but the idea was scrapped as AC Bradley found the idea to be far too dark in comparison to the rest of the series. There's an episode with zombies.
Yeah, and it's a fairly brutal episode with zombies. Like, a lot of people die.
Yeah.
And it's very sad in a lot of places. There is one episode which features a character's love interest dying over and over in multiple different ways, and no matter what they do to try and stop it, it always happens in increasingly far-fetched manners.
I know.
Like, it's mostly a car crash, but then sometimes she just has a heart attack despite being, a fairly healthy young woman. It's fucking... But this is the line that's too far. Man Spider? Man Spider.
The writers also considered an episode for the series that would have had the Avengers as dinosaurs, but rejected it for being too silly. I would have watched it.
I would have fucking loved that. Damn it. This is why we can't have nice things.
And finally, showrunner AC Bradley pitched an episode inspired by What If issue 10, which featured a timeline where Jane Foster became a female version of Thor after finding Mjolnir, but that obviously became Love and Thunder. So that didn't happen.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with comic books. It's like the wealth of stories that you can pull from is so vast.
Mm-hmm.
And things get repeated. Like you said, this was a what if story back in the day, but then the Jane Foster wielding Mjolnir and becoming Thor actually became a thing in the comics as well. So
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now we need to talk about the Gamora situation.
Yes, please. Let's talk about the Gamora situation, because I'm still not entirely clear on what the fuck is happening with that.
Now I did have something open here, but it's gone. So now I have to find it again. All right, here we go. So
yeah, let's go.
As I said, this was going to be a 10-episode season. One episode had to be dropped.
Sure.
So they dropped an episode. Where is it? Here we go. Just I've got to find the.
It's
Okay, here we go.
as you find that. Oh, you found it.
I found it.
You good?
Okay. So yes, at the end of the season, the Guardians of the Multiverse includes a specific version of Gamora from a universe that we're not familiar with, even though the narrative acts like we are. Outside of a brief moment during Infinity Ultron's rampage through his own galaxy, this is our first time seeing Gamora at all in this series. She wasn't even mentioned in the T'Challa Star-Lord story.
Yep.
So what happened? This is coming from Den of Geek, by the way. This is their article. And the thing about this is there was 2 Lego sets put out based on this show.
Okay.
One of them is based on this episode that didn't even come out.
I did not know that.
So there was a Lego set. Basically, what was going to happen in the episode, it was what if Iron Man landed on Sakaar? That's the premise of the episode.
Right. That explains Stark's armor in that little snippet of it that you get in the last 2 episodes.
Yes, and that is what was in the Lego set, is like that armor.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a minifig of the Watcher and Valkyrie and Tony Stark.
Right.
So the Phantom episode was not only supposed to happen during the first season, but it was one of the first episode concepts anyone figured out because Lego had released a set based on it. Known as
it had to be early.
Yeah, known as Tony Stark's Sakarian Iron Man, the set included figures for Tony Stark, Valkyrie, and Uatu. No details on the episode were mentioned on the box. It should be noted that the only other Lego set to come out with this series is based around Captain Carter and the Hydra Stomper.
Yeah, that one's fucking sick.
Yeah. Now, the nexus point for this world was supposedly that after nuking the aliens at the end of Avengers, Iron Man wasn't able to fall through the portal in time. Instead, he drifted through space until ending up on the planet Sakaar, where he had to use his genius mixed with the techno junk around him to survive. So that was the premise of the episode, and Gamora was in that episode.
It's wild that Gamora is the part that gets taken out of that episode then.
Yeah. Like, why her specifically and not...
Yeah, I guess the reason is that we don't really want to overexpose people to our not Tony Stark because it's not the best.
Sure, but I mean, he's in the Killmonger episode a lot.
He is in the Killmonger episode a lot.
So yeah, that's what happened.
It's very strange.
That episode was the one that got canned. It's possible that it's going to be made for the second season.
I would hope so.
I don't know,
because it sure would be weird to just have that Gamora there for an episode and a half at the very end of the season and just never touch on that again.
Yeah,
and it's funny because you look at everyone who's assembled in that final team, which we'll talk about as this goes on. But like, there's one episode in the 7 episodes leading up to the final 2, because that's like a 2-parter type deal.
Yeah,
that doesn't necessarily feature anyone from that team,
right?
But it's important for closure for one of the people that is in that team that it be there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to, like, if you were going to choose one to remove, I probably would have taken episode 3 out. But
there's one episode I definitely would have taken out.
Yeah, but he's also on the team, so it would be weird to... I would have changed that for something different, but yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one. But we should probably talk about these episodes.
Let's do it. This is the plot of What If. So it is an anthology series. Obviously, each episode is different up until the last couple. So now, last week when I looked at this, I was like, it's just got like a brief sort of synopsis for each episode. And but if you actually click into the episodes, there is a full synopsis for each episode.
Oh yeah, you said this was going to be a real short podcast.
I am not going to read these.
Yeah, you are.
It's literally 8 paragraphs for each episode. I am not doing that.
Okay.
No fucking way.
Okay, fine.
So I'm just going to read the short synopsis about the episode, and then we can talk about the episode
I'm
overall.
glad to know that you're a coward. It's okay. I'm a coward too.
I do not want to record a 7-hour episode of this show.
Don't you?
Not
It's not
really.
that you don't want to.
Not-
I don't think we could really get away with it.
If we were going to, it wouldn't be for What If.
Yeah,
maybe
that's fair.
maybe one of the movies or something. I don't know. But here we go. So I need to ask something. Is it mentioned that this show specifically occurs because of what happens at the end of Loki? Is that mentioned at the beginning of this show?
I don't believe it is.
Okay, so the plot on this is taking that into account. The fall of He Who Remains at the hands of Sylvie Laufey Dota and Kang the Conqueror's subsequent takeover of the Time Variance Authority has allowed the sacred timeline to spur countless branches, effectively destabilizing the multiverse. From his observatory in the nexus of all realities, the Watcher would begin to observe the numerous timelines spawned from their various nexus events. However, the Watcher himself cannot interfere with events occurring within the realities, having sworn an oath shared among all other Watchers. Uatu visits 8 realities that diverged from the main universe. Okay, so here we go. First episode is...
Yes.
What if Captain Carter were the first Avenger? When Steve Rogers is seriously injured, Peggy Carter becomes the world's first super soldier. So that's the basic gist of the episode, is that Captain Carter is a thing that happens because there's no Captain America.
As far as premises go, it seems like a really simple swap out. Like, okay, we're just going to do Captain America the First Avenger, but we're going to do it with Carter instead of...
Which is pretty much what this episode is. It's pretty much a remake of that movie, but with Captain Carter.
It is, but things still sort of pan out differently enough to justify it.
At the end.
I think. No, not even just at the end. They get the Tesseract really early on. That's no longer the thrust of the thing.
Yeah,
like, Carter
that's true.
gets it in Paris. And then it becomes less about Red Skull trying to blow up the world with all this new power he's got in the Tesseract, and more about him like, well, if I can't have the world, I'm going to summon a fucking alien tentacle beast to destroy it.
Right.
Plus, you get the fun part of not only having Captain Carter, but Steve does get to do stuff. He gets
he gets to have an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, it's cool too. I've gone on record as saying I love the bulky, like, cave Iron Man suit, and this is basically that, but mixed with a fucking World War II tank. And it's sick. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. This is a good episode to start with, I think. It's, like I said, it's mostly a remake of First Avenger with Captain Carter, with some differences.
It sets the standard nicely, I think.
Yes, it's like, what if this small thing happened where Steve couldn't become Captain America, and so Peggy stepped in and did it anyway because they were on a fucking on a time.
We were going to lose the project.
Yeah,
is the exact wording.
And so they just had to do it right then. She had to jump in and do it. No one else was going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Stark's just the guy who pushes buttons.
Yeah, exactly. Just pushes buttons. That's it. That's his whole thing. And
there's a bit near the end where he's complaining that the Germans make buttons blue. It's like, who makes a button blue? Like, what the fuck you on about, Stark? Well, yeah, his progressive feminism for the time is very fun.
Mm-hmm.
A whole lot of glass ceiling stuff for Captain Carter to smash through. Yeah. The general or sergeant, I want to say general, that they have in that episode is a real piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy to hate. Fuck that guy.
For sure.
And fucking, oh god, what's her name? Haley Atwell sounds like she's having a great time.
Yeah.
So I'm having a great time listening to her have a great time.
I feel like a lot of the returning actors from the movies do a pretty good job with the characters.
There's a couple things here and there that sound a bit weird, but like when you're not professionally trained as a voice actor predominantly,
Yeah.
it can be a bit weird to step into that. So,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
This episode's got lots of really fun action. Like, it's animated really well in the action scenes specifically.
Yeah.
It's bits where Captain Carter's beating the shit out of Nazis on motorbikes and trucks, and she like swings a fucking motorbike. It feels very impactful. It's lots of fun to watch.
Yeah, I think the animation in this series is overall pretty good.
It's definitely solid. As you said in the trivia bit, with like maybe a 2D animation style might have been more visually interesting.
Yeah.
This works. It gets the job done.
It has an art style,
and there are moments where
it
it looks quite nice.
Yeah, and I think the lighting does a lot of the work here. Like, I think the lighting is really good.
100% agree.
The cell shading is fine. I don't love cell shading in
It's okay.
shows, but it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Highlights from this episode, I really like the montage set to old-timey music. That's like swing music. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The remixes of parts that happen in the movie with the new bits, it's a good stepping off point. It's familiar but different, and it's fun with not particularly high stakes.
No. I agree with all of that. The second episode, what if T'Challa became a Star-Lord? A Star-Lord. That's what.
Motherfucking Star-Lord.
The rough and tumble space pirates known as the Ravagers abduct T'Challa instead of Peter Quill. And this is really, I really like this episode a lot. I like the whole plot to steal a thing. I love stealing things. Heist. Great stuff.
Love a heist.
Love a heist.
It's so fucking straight. Like, Captain Carter, good stepping off point. Familiar, good and different, but not too different. Yeah. This is like, okay, here's the bit from the movie, and then here's a completely different fucking thing.
Yeah.
Here's how vastly the universe changes because Star-Lord isn't an inept dipshit.
Right. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the like Thanos giving up the he just had a chat. Yeah, he just needed a stern talking to.
Captain Genocide over there just needed a chat.
In Infinity War, if Black Panther had just talked to Thanos first, none of it would have happened.
It's so fucking strange that this is where a case of mistaken identity, because all humans look the same, winds up like averting disaster so many years down the track. Meanwhile, Star-Lord just gets to be a fucking janitor at a Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
The Dairy Queen from Guardians 2.
Right.
Also,
I like this episode. It's fun. We get the different take on Nebula, which is fun.
Yeah, her like femme fatale type deal. That's interesting. Do you find it weird how much airtime Jimon Honsu, I can't pronounce his last name.
I think he's really good in this episode too. Like, his voice acting is really good.
Fun, but my God, is he around a lot? And like, I get it. He's a big fanboy.
Right.
I feel like they kind of run it into the ground a little bit. But apart from that, it's such a strange episode. I always leave it being like, I liked that, but boy, was it fucking weird.
It is weird, but like that's the whole premise of the show. Is
why is the collective buff?
What if we do something that's completely different? And we're gonna get to an episode later that I hate, hate.
It's funny you say hate, because if it's the one that we've like sort of mentioned to each other offhand, I feel like last week you said you enjoyed it.
Yes, but then I watched it.
Okay. Yes.
So in the context of watching them week to week as a separate thing, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Watching them all
back
together in a row, it stands out as
different. It's jarring.
Yeah. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yes, but like that episode does the what if thing in a bad way, where this does it in like a really good way. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
wacky and different with the characters, but it does it in a
This
really good
one-
way.
This one's like, okay, we're not just going to remix the movie. We're
Yes.
going to take the character, put him in the shoes of a different character, and just have fun with it. Which, that's kind of what you want.
For sure. And the collector's really good too.
Buff Collector.
Yeah, buff
Why?
collector. I don't know.
He's so buff.
I don't know why he got so buff, but he is.
Also, the implication that like there's no Captain America or Thor because he's definitely got the shield and Mjolnir.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right then.
Yeah. Overall, I really like this episode. It's a good time.
Fun and interesting. I'm into it.
Yeah. Okay, third episode. This is where it gets. Yeah, like I guess all of these episodes are so different in the. Yeah.
In
What
the broad
if?
strokes, they are different because the first one you've got pulpy adventure. The 2nd one is sci-fi heist. This one is sort of spy thriller mystery.
Yeah. What if the world lost its mightiest heroes? Nick Fury struggles to launch the Avengers when candidates are targeted by a serial killer. Well, yeah, I guess.
Just a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah. So when this episode first started, and this is what you mentioned about like Iron Man 2, like remaking Iron Man 2. Yeah, it starts off just like it's basically word for word the donut scene from Iron Man 2. And then
we are like stepping into Act 3 of Iron Man 2.
Yeah. And then it just takes a turn and you're like, what the fuck? Tony Stark fucking dies from the thing that's
Stark
supposed to
is
cure
dead
him.
in a fucking donut fucking cafe.
Yeah, it was unexpected and cool. I like it a lot.
It makes fantastic use of the highly unlikely event of the events of Hulk or Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, and Captain America all kind of happening within the same week, which is very good. Like that. Love the acknowledgement that that's fucking strange. And we don't have to sit through Tony Stark making an element. This is the best episode of What If.
Thank you, What If.
It eliminates that scene entirely. Fucking amazing.
It means we don't have to watch Iron Man 2 ever again.
No, you have to watch it up to the donut scene, which means you get the robot rock punch.
Oh no! Fuck that movie.
The robot rock punch on's fine. The Monte Carlo bit's interesting. Maybe that's the wrong word.
It's a thing that happens.
It is a thing that happened. I have the notes to prove it.
Yeah, and then Thor goes down. Hulk fucking explodes.
Yeah, so they're weird deaths too, because it's like, okay, Iron Man is killed by the thing that's supposed to cure him, which is administered by Black Widow. Thor gets shot by one of Hawkeye's arrows, and it just seems to be like all of these SHIELD agents being implicated in these deaths, and like, okay, well that's fucking suspicious. Then Hawkeye shows up dead in his cell. No one got in, no one got out. What happened? I love the mystery of it up to this point. Yeah. Because at no point do you think like, okay, it's Iron Man 2. No, we're not going to use something from later movies. Why would we do that? And then we did.
It really keeps you guessing. Like, there's nothing to really give away who it is that's doing it up until it's finally told to you. Yeah, it's really good. I fucking love the reveal.
Yes. It's all about hope.
Hank Pym's just fucking
crazy old Michael Douglas.
Oh, he's so good in this too.
He's really good.
He's really good.
I don't know,
Ugh.
something about cranky Michael Douglas really does it for me in this, and, like,
Hmm.
voice acting-wise, he's really nailing it.
He is.
Yeah, I suppose the what if branching off point here isn't necessarily the Tony Stark dies, it's that Hope, Van Dyne dies in
Yes.
SHIELD service,
Yeah.
and Hank goes off the fucking deep end.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some really good stuff in this episode. I really like the interaction between Fury and Loki, something that I don't think we ever really got in the actual movies. You get it a little bit in
Just a little
Avengers
bit when
and
Loki
stuff.
first comes to Earth, and it's like,
Yeah, and it's fucking brief.
yeah.
But yeah, their interactions are great. You get Loki being a shithead to Hank, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of stuff to enjoy about this, and
Yeah.
I think just in general, maybe my favorite of the episodes is definitely up there.
Yeah, it's up there for me too. It's definitely one of the standouts of the series.
Mm.
I like a lot of the episodes in this. There's very few that I like. I would just throw one of these on every now and then.
Yeah,
now that
sure.
I've rewatched them,
Well,
and I'm like, oh, that's a good episode.
I think the only one that I don't really like, I still think is fine, just maybe not alongside all the rest of these.
Yeah, when I said I hate it, like
Hate's a strong
I hate
word.
it. Yeah, I hate it in the context of the show. Like it's fine.
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because most of these are not fun explicitly.
Definitely not the next one, which is episode 4. What if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? A grief-stricken
Might be
Doctor...
the most not fun one.
Yeah, this is the most not fun. A grief-stricken Doctor Strange uses the Eye of Agamotto in a dangerous effort to change the past. This is the Jurassic Bark of What If.
Oh, God. For 1,000 summers, I will wait for you.
Yeah, this is... Oh, he's gone. What happened? He disappeared. Will he return? Who can say? We may never know if Josh will ever return. There he is. He's back.
I refreshed as soon as it happened this time.
Okay. All right. Yes. Just Christine's just dying over and over again.
It's a rough time. I like Christine in this franchise. She's nice.
Yeah. Which makes it even worse that she's
It's
chosen
really bad.
just to die over and over again in this episode. And then Strange just doing what he can to keep her alive.
Unsuccessfully. Very unsuccessfully. And he goes on a weird, like, his diet goes all over the place. He starts eating lots of weird shit.
Uh-huh.
Not bugs, though. He draws the line at bugs.
And
does
then
take its cape, though.
We get Strange Supreme, which is what the name of the other one.
Wait, which other one? Which Strange is this?
Strange Supreme is like the bad one.
But he's not the one that shows up in a later property, right?
That's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. No, well, no.
That's Sinister Strange.
Right. Yes. No.
They are different Strangers.
They are different Strangers. Yes.
Even though that one's facing a calamity that looks very similar to the one that's displayed in this movie episode.
Well, you know,
lots of cool fucking otherworldly shit. There's a fucking garden gnome.
There is a garden gnome for some reason.
Well, that was like okay, better start small.
Yeah.
Conjures up a fucking garden gnome and then eats it. That the light face that he pulls when he eats things reminds me of the aliens in World's End.
Yes.
The fucking lights in the mouths. Yeah. And it's real creepy. I like it a lot.
That's good. Yeah, this is a good episode. It's a good episode, but also depressing. Because it also ends with him just like in a void of nothingness.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's had a bad time and it's not getting any better from here.
No.
I find it interesting that even in these first 3 episodes, we've had one episode that is almost a direct parallel of the movie that
Yep.
it's splitting off from.
Mhm.
We've had one that takes, or actually we got 4 episodes. We got one that takes the jumping off point, switches the characters, and then does something completely different.
Yep.
We've got one that is, what if those movies happened, but those characters weren't around?
Right.
And then we've got this one, which is, what if that movie happened, but one thing slightly different happened so that they had a direct sequel that went strange, for lack of a better word.
Right.
Like, with the premise itself, it's not just like the genre of show that they're making with each one. Like, sure, we've got pulp action, sci-fi heist. We've got that difference and variety. But we've also got variety in what they're doing with the actual premise itself, which is neat.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that they mix it up with each episode and they do something different. It's not just like
And sometimes it's big, and sometimes it's a very personal thing.
yes. Yeah, I like that they're willing to just do something that's depressing as fuck.
Get fucked, Stephen Strange.
Yeah. I really like this episode too. Honestly, like the first
How many times
episode,
can we say I really like this episode?
the first episode is fine. It's a good episode, but then
It's one of my favorites, but that's because I'm a Captain America fucking stan.
right, but then 2, 3, 4, 5's okay, 6, like those are like top tier. Those are like really good episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like 5 has to be, like, it had to be because it's the only one that had concrete plans set in stone for afterwards.
Right. Episode 5. What if zombies?
It's not really a question.
What if zombies? It's a question. It's got a question mark after it.
How do zombies?
Exactly. When the Avengers
Or
are
what zombies?
when the Avengers are infected by a zombie plague, surviving heroes search for a cure.
Hank Pym ruins the world again.
Fucking
I would have loved if we got to the end of this season of What If and it was just revealed that Hank Pym was the cause of all these different fuck-ups, but in slightly different ways.
Yeah.
It's not feasible for at least 2 of them, but
Right.
would have been funny.
Yeah, this episode again is fine. This is
probably the most fan servicey one, I feel. Maybe.
yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. It is. And I just like the idea of superheroes becoming infected, becoming zombies, and
Yeah,
using their
what happens when these
superpowers
things, with all that power,
as a
become
zombie.
like slavering fucking monsters.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's really good because the first time you're introduced to them is in like silhouette. Fucking Banner's been shot down out of space.
Yep.
The start of Infinity War is happening. Ebony Moore and Big Boy, what's his name? Nope, it's gone.
Who are we talking about? What?
Obsidian Moore. No, Obsidian.
Oh, yeah.
Something.
Yep.
Yeah, guy with the fucking hammer. They're both
Cull
there
Obsidian.
doing their fucking Cull Obsidian. Thank you. So Ebony Moore and Cull Obsidian are there doing their whole, yep, give us the time stone thing.
Yeah.
And fucking Strange, Stark, and Wong jump them from out of the mist and just go to town. And Banner's watching like, yeah, oh god.
Yeah, it's a good Banner episode, this one. Yeah, so yeah, they get infected and everyone becomes zombies. And then there's a nice twist at the end with Vision and Wanda.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
It's just not zombie fiction until you have a wife and husband where one of them's been infected and the other one's trying to keep them alive because they're still in there, damn it.
And they've got to
It's
bring
just not.
food back for them.
Yeah, well, you got to keep them fed. Otherwise they'll die? I don't know how zombies work.
That's a good
Especially
question.
not with her.
Yeah, interesting.
Zombies die. I think certain media have portrayed them getting weaker if they don't eat.
Right.
But I don't know. Yeah, you get some fantastic shit in this. You get Scott Lang's head
Yeah. It's just a
making
head
dad
in a
jokes
jar.
to
It's
comprehend
amazing.
with the existential horror of being a head in a jar.
Hmm.
Zombie Hunter Spider-Man with the cape, the
Yes.
cloak of levitation. That's fun stuff.
So
I will always mark out for Winter Soldier versus Captain America, and we get that on the train. And it's
Mhm.
fucking sick. Love that.
So Tom Holland couldn't do the show due to his contract with Sony. Apparently, he's only allowed to do movies and not TV shows as Spider-Man, I guess. So that's the reason he's not in the show. It's a contract thing.
Huh.
Yeah, it's weird.
Who was Peter in the show?
Don't ask me that. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Hudson Thames.
Okay.
I assume that's Thames, Thames.
Yeah, I guess
he does an okay Spider-Man.
it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
He's Spider-Man in at least one other thing.
Okay.
Avengers Quantum Encounter. What is that?
No idea.
It's some kind of short of some variety. Anyway.
Okay. What is up with the ending of this episode? Zombie Thanos is there with a Infinity Gauntlet. What?
Well, that's the thing, right? Because the only thing we knew about this series going in was that it was going to be a what if episode, but we knew that there was going to be a zombie series spin-off from this, right?
Yeah.
You got to set up your threat.
Sure.
And yeah, what's a bigger threat than zombie Thanos?
I guess. I don't know. It's such a weird ending to this episode.
It really is. There's only one other episode where I feel like it's got an ending that sort of implies that it's going to continue on later, which it kind of does.
Mm-hmm.
And it's episode 3.
Yeah. That one does actually pick up later, but this one's
the only reason I wouldn't cut it in favor of Iron Man on Sakaar.
Yeah. Anyway, overall, it's a fine, like you said, it's a fan servicey episode. It's like, what if this person was a zombie?
Yeah. I do like that a lot of side characters get some time to shine here. You got Sharon and what's fucking Scott Lang's Eastern European friend's name?
Oh yeah.
The one obsessed with Baba Yaga.
Yeah, I don't remember the character's name.
He's great. Happy's there. Everyone's
Happy's
really good.
there.
Fucking Wasp gets to do some really cool shit.
Yeah.
I love myself some heroic sacrifice.
Yeah, sames. And then she gets to be a zombie.
A giant one.
A giant zombie. Yeah. Good episode. Not amazing, but good.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I think I agree. It is, it's very much the concept. It's in the title. It doesn't do anything super interesting with it.
Right.
It doesn't fumble it.
Next one's a good one. What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark? An American soldier called Killmonger rescues Tony Stark when his Humvee is attacked in Afghanistan. Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, that's wrong. That should be Funvee.
Yeah. It's not the Humvee, it's not the Humdrum V, it's the Funvee.
Exactly.
Yep. So we get the opening minutes of Iron Man 1 before Killmonger comes in and just yeets a fucking missile into the desert. Like
another one of these things where it's just like a full-on word-for-word remake of the beginning of that movie, but with someone else doing Robert Downey Jr.'s voice, and then it takes its twist, and this is pretty much just a combination of Iron Man and Black Panther. It's like it kind of
the tiniest little bit of Age of Ultron in there.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's kind of just combining all of those things, and it's fine. It's another really good episode, I think.
Well, the fun part of this is that you get to have two characters who never had screen time together.
Yes.
Why the fuck would they?
Right.
bouncing off each other in interesting ways, doing interesting stuff. It's neat. I like it. I feel like Michael B. Jordan was definitely on board for it because that guy's a fucking huge nerd and there's mechs and shit in this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Killmonger even says that he's an anime fan in the episode itself.
Yeah, he does. And fucking goddamn. God, what's his name? Fucking the guy that plays Claw. Fucking what's his name? Goddamn.
Oh, God. I'm fucking dying. Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis is so fucking good, as he
He's
always
great.
is.
Yeah, Andy Serkis as Claw might be maybe like the low-key MVP of the MCU for me.
Yeah.
Every time he shows up, he's fucking amazing.
He's great. So good. And yeah, it's a good fun episode. We get twists here and there, and even though we know Killmonger's what he's up to, he's a bad guy. So
yeah, I don't know. Like for half the episode, it feels like, is he a bad guy this time around, or is he like actually altruistic? Because he totally calls out Obadiah on his assassination plot and foils that immediately, and then the rest of the thing is just him and Tony buddying up, and then no, he's still kind of he's definitely a villain.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we get more into like the Black Panther side of things, where he sort of weasels his way into the throne, but without. Yeah. But he's like kind of in a more favorable position here because he didn't just straight up kill the king in front of everyone.
Right.
Like
he did it in secret.
If Killmonger was smarter in the MCU, he would have done it this way.
Right.
Play the long game.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking how many years between Iron Man 1 and Black Panther?
A few. I don't know.
Too many.
Yeah, anyway, good episode. I like it.
Yeah.
Now here's where we take a turn.
It's
episode 7. What if Thor were an only child? Thor, who never learned to be a good hero, throws an out-of-control intergalactic party on Earth. Oh.
And that's it. That's the premise.
That's the premise, and that's pretty much all that happens in the episode.
It's fine. Like, in terms of what this brings to the table, it's a nice breather. If you like watching week to week, it's fine because you get something new every week. You get a week to sort of unwind from the last one and prepare for the new one. Mm-hmm. Watching back to back, it's an interesting like palate cleanser almost, because everything up to this point has been pretty serious.
Yeah,
like we start with Captain Carter, which is kind of a fun adventure romp, and then the rest have been a bit more gritty.
I think zombies.
And then yet to this one,
zombies, even though it's like about
it's
zombies,
dark,
it's still,
but it's
still fun.
Kind of silly.
Yeah.
I think this one being like just straight up comedy for the most part, is a bold choice.
It's a bold choice.
I think it works, but not necessarily. It's not necessarily going to work all the time for everyone. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. This episode is fine in the context of it being its own thing. Yes. In the context of the overall show, I don't think it works, and it's not. It's taking away from. It's time I could be spending watching other episodes instead of this one.
Exactly. Like, it just doesn't feel all that important to the overarching thing, which at this point, you don't really realize there is an overarching thing until the very end of this episode, and that's where they kind of introduce that.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like haha, what if Thor was a dumb frat boy dickhead? And it is funny. Chris Hemsworth, is that Hemsworth in this?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And Natalie
He's
Portman.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's very, very funny in this episode.
Yeah.
It's just real weird and dumb.
It is.
And I do find, I don't know, I find myself questioning a lot more in this episode than I have in any other What If episode.
Mm-hmm.
My main thing is because this all kind of comes to a head as Thor and Captain Marvel punch on with one another.
Yeah.
And the first time they encounter each other, Captain Marvel kind of gets, like, quote unquote, beaten when she's pinned down by Mjolnir.
Right.
If Thor was an only child,
Hmm.
Mjolnir wouldn't have that enchantment on it. Because Thor 1 would never have happened.
I feel like even though it's weird, yeah. So I feel like there's conflicting things here because
Yeah.
Thor, if he had gone through that and Mjolnir had the enchantment on it, he wouldn't be the douchebag frat guy he is, right?
Of course not. He would have grown as a person and matured slightly.
Right, but I feel like
That can't
it
have
makes
happened.
sense that it would still happen. Like Loki doesn't need to be there for him to still need to learn a lesson.
Not necessarily, but it is the catalyst for him, like, going to Jotunheim and doing the thing that gets him kicked out of Asgard. And
Right.
there's
That's true.
And it is definitely, like, the first time that Thor has shown up on Earth because Jane's there. This is her first time encountering the anomaly.
Yeah.
That is the fucking Bifrost.
Mm-hmm.
So if it happened, it didn't happen on Earth.
Right.
And I'm definitely reading too far into this because it's a silly comedy haha bit.
I know, but it's still like, it is still...
This is the premise of your show. You kind of need to take it more seriously than that, I think.
Yeah. I like Howard the Duck.
Funny things.
Howard the Duck just randomly shows up during this series, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah, he shows up in one place that makes perfect sense, and then he shows up here, and it doesn't make as much sense, but nothing in this episode does, apparently, so
Right.
we're rolling with it.
Mm-hmm.
Darcy and he get married.
Oh, fuck. This episode's so stupid. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's very silly.
But yeah, like as its own thing, it's fine and it's fun. But again, in the context of the whole show, it doesn't quite work.
It's so much lower stakes and so much sillier and such a fucking right turn that it is jarring, especially if you're watching one after the other.
Mm-hmm.
In the context of the following two episodes, it's very strange that this Thor would be an important part of that.
Right.
Because he's fundamentally not different at all from Thor 1 pre-character growth.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Episode 8. What if Ultron won? Natasha Romanoff and Clint Barton seek to destroy Killer Robot Ultron following a cataclysmic event. Robot. Yes. So Ultron won. He's got
one, humanity nil.
He's got the Infinity Stones, and he's a naughty boy, naughty Ultron.
He really is. It's the naughtiest Ultron.
And he figures out that he can. There's different universes. There's a multiverse, and he wants to just.
Yeah, first he wipes out his own universe, and then he goes on to wipe out every universe.
Exactly. And yeah, I don't know. This is a decent episode. I don't know. It's not very memorable to me. I know Ultron's in it, and he destroys universes, and
this is one of the other episodes that are like. It's not one of my favorites by a long shot, just because it feels like a setup for the next episode, which it totally is.
Yeah.
There's some cool shit going on, though. I like post-apocalyptic Clint and Nat.
Yes.
They're doing their thing, taking on hordes of Ultron sentries and shit.
Yeah.
And they're like timing it, and they're all synced up and shit. It's fucking rad.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of like post-apocalyptic world with only like them two as the survivors. Nat claims she's the only surviving human left, which is interesting to note. Not sure why you would bother fighting on at that point.
Yeah, I don't know.
I give up easy. I am a coward.
Yeah, this is good, and then him sort of breaking out and figuring out Uatu's watching and
The panic in Uatu's voice when he realizes that he's fucked is really good. The last like 5 minutes of that episode are just like, oh shit, oh god, it's all gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
But everything leading up to that is kind of a slow burn.
Mhm.
I like it, but
Yeah.
it's not doing anything super like groundbreaking or
No.
head turning.
No. It's a fun another
fun
fun
setup.
episode. It's Ultron.
I don't know if fun is the word I would use. It's pretty hopeless.
I think it's a fun episode. Same with the next
There's some
one.
cool shit.
Yeah.
Next one is actually very fun.
What if the Watcher broke his oath? Episode 9, out of options, the Watcher gathers heroes from across the multiverse in order to defeat Ultron. Yeah, pretty much what it says on the box. That's what he does.
That is
That's what they do. They defeat Ultron. And yeah, I don't know. What else is there to say? This is an episode with a lot of fighting.
This one, yeah, you know what? I think it is the episode with a lot of fighting. I think the action is really fucking sick.
Yeah, it is.
There's so many cool team up moves and shit, and you know I'm a sucker for team up moves.
Yep. This is the Avengers of What If
Slut for them.
episodes.
Yeah, it really is. This is their victory lap.
Mm-hmm.
There was some stumbles along the way.
And hey, Gamora's
We got
there.
Gamora's there. We don't know what her deal is. Wait, even knowing the premise of the episode, I don't know what the fucking deal is with her.
There's no
Someone help me,
explanation in the
please.
episode at all. She just is just there.
She's just there. And everyone else we know who's there. We've got Widow from the episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Captain Carter from episode 1.
Yep.
We've got T'Challa from episode 2. We've got
Thor.
Thor from episode, 7?
Yep. Strange.
We've got Strange from episode 4. I don't know. I'm going to stop numbering them. because
Doesn't
I'm
matter
gonna
about what
forget.
episode it's from, but Strange is there.
Yeah, Strange is there. Killmonger.
Yeah, Killmonger, who,
Killmonger's
wow,
there.
turns out, still a bad guy. Who
What
knew?
a dick. Yeah, look, we've got to make sure that even though he's got a perfectly cromulent message,
Mhm.
he is evil.
No redemption for Killmonger ever.
He might be right, but he's still a dick about it. Look, he's out of line, but he's got a point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then zombies also show up. Specifically, zombie Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not a part of the team officially, does come in for the assist.
Right. Yeah. Fun ending to the series. Combining all the episodes. It was a good idea, and it pans out.
Yeah, I think it pays off nicely. I still don't know why Frat Boy Thor is there.
It's Thor, that's why.
What does Fury call him in that episode? Spicoli? From Fast
Yeah.
Times.
Yeah.
And,
Isn't that reference?
shit.
Doesn't Tony Stark call him that in the movie? One of the movies?
I don't know if he calls him Spicoli. I know he calls him Point Break.
Definitely calls him Point Break. I feel like maybe that was right.
He also gets White Snake from Captain Marvel, which is good. Also,
Yes. Mhm.
If nothing else, we've gotten good nicknames for Thor.
Yes. And that is What If?
Yeah.
Overall,
a whirlwind adventure.
Overall, what are your thoughts on this first season, if we ever get a second season?
Pretty good. I like all the episodes, at least a
Mhm.
little bit.
Yeah.
In the context of them being part of a larger picture, I
Mhm.
enjoy 90% of them. a lot.
Sames.
Yeah, it's a cool little surprise that it turned out as interesting and as well as it did. I thought it was just going to be all fan service all the time, and it kind of is. But they don't really they don't really hammer it home as much
No.
as they probably could.
No. I feel like it's
You're the fan service hater. Let me know. Am I on point? Off
I
base
think
for
so.
this?
Yeah, I there's except for the Thor episode has a few there's some scrolls. There's just like little things here and there. There's nothing that really stood out to me there's nothing that made me roll my eyes in fan service. I think it works as a show. I think it's fun. And I'm looking forward to more episodes when they eventually come.
Yep, I'd love to see that Iron Man on Sakaar episode. And
Yes.
I don't know if I'm excited to see more Marvel Zombies, but I mean, I'm into it. I'm not opposed to the idea.
Mm-hmm. Is What If on Letterboxd?
I believe we decided that it was. Because...
Well, I can't find it.
Oh, God. I feel like it was because we decided that we would...
So I can't find What If, but there is the Marvel Studios assembled making of What If.
You know what?
So
we're just gonna put that on.
We're just gonna put that on there just so we know.
Yep. We just gotta remember it when we're reading out the list.
Oh God! All right.
Amazing.
Before
we rank, yes,
we need to talk about the Starks and the Stanks.
We do. It's very important.
I don't remember. Did you go last week?
What was last week? Was last week Black Widow?
Yes.
I believe I went first because you said I stole your notes.
Okay. Well, I will go first then. The overall premise of the show is great and is perfect for an animated TV series, and it works. I like it. Make more. Thank you.
Give more. Give more What If.
Give more.
What if give more? Yeah, I agree with that.
This definitely wouldn't work as a movie. You can't make
no
a What If movie. So yeah, overall, great idea for a TV show, and it works.
At most, you can maybe make a Guardians of the Multiverse movie, but that requires the setup of this show.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, totally agree. It's perfect for an animated anthology thing. My first Stark is not necessarily that, but it kind of bounces off that. It's a good mix of stories on offer in terms of scale, in terms of genre, in terms of tone. You've got light, you've got heavy, you've got big stories, personal stories. You've got things that are just basic remixes of the movies. You've got things that jump off completely. It's a lot of variety for 9 episodes of a fucking animated series.
Yeah, it's great. Good stuff. My second Stark is T'Challa. I think it's great. He's so good in this show, and they use him a lot. And it's such a bummer we don't get to see more of him ever again. It sucks, man.
Yeah, that is maybe the biggest downer I've ever heard.
Yeah. It's
Thank you.
God, it's he was so good in this show, and it's such a bummer. But
absolutely.
Anyway, let's. What's your second Stark?
My second Stark is that I love the anti-anthology swerve at the end. The fact that this is an anthology show, but at the end we're actually wrapping it up into a thing, and surprise, these are all related now.
Yeah.
I really like that because I wasn't expecting it. And even upon rewatch, knowing where everything was going, I was like, yeah, I can't fucking wait. That's so cool.
Yeah. It's it was a great way to end the show, and like you said, it's unexpected. We just thought it was just gonna be all separate things.
And it would have been fine if it was just all completely separate, unique stories, but being able to finish with all these characters that we've gotten to know over the course of this series, it's good. It's a good idea.
Yeah, it's really good. The Stanks now. My first one, the Thor episode.
I I feel like we've talked about it enough to get a feel for why you
Yep.
think that. And I can't disagree. It's definitely the low point of the series. I'll still watch it if it's on. But if I was going to pick one to just watch offhand, probably wouldn't be that one.
For me, it would be the very last one.
Yeah, you'd watch that one after every other one, even
Yeah.
the ones that lead directly out of this.
Exactly.
Um,
What's your first stank?
Yeah, I don't think the Thor episode's that bad, so it's not a stank for me,
Mhm.
but I agree. My first stank is missing voices from key MCU players are a shame, although they are pretty well covered.
Yeah.
It is a shame that you get stuff like home brand Tony Stark. I think his is the most glaring. Like, I quite like the voice actress for Natasha. I think she's really good.
Yeah.
The guy who's covering for Tom Holland does well enough. I didn't even realize that it wasn't him initially.
I don't mind the RDJ stand-in.
I don't know why that one specifically annoys me. I think it's a combination of the voice and also his face looks just not quite right.
Do you think it's because he kind of sounds like he's trying to do an RDJ?
Yeah, whereas with Nat, it's like that's just a lady doing a voice. It's not necessarily a lady doing a ScarJo.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like
that could be it.
Yeah. I feel like that too. Yeah.
I do think though, like in general, it's a shame that like not everyone came back for this when a lot of people did. Fucking Kurt Russell's here for the brief time that he goes on screen.
Michael fucking Douglas.
Yep. Kills it.
Yeah.
And also several Avengers.
I do wonder what led to, like, I know what happened with Tom Holland, but I don't know, why the other actors
could have just been that
didn't show up.
It could have just been that their contracts were up because
they couldn't just walk into
it. Like, nah, I'm done.
Well, yeah, RDJ makes sense because he was done.
Yeah.
And I guess Scarlett Johansson is done.
Just give me my fucking Black Widow money and let me leave.
Right.
What do you mean you're not putting it in theaters? What do you mean you're releasing it on Disney Plus?
I want more money now. Give me all of the money. I want Disney. I want to own Disney.
Okay, so what's your?
She might do a better job than the current people running Disney, honestly.
I have no strong opinions. Oh, actually, no, I do have strong opinions on that. You might be right. What's your second stank?
My second stank, I couldn't think of anything. Look, I thought, I'm like, what is it? So I'm just gonna say the Gamora thing. It's just a glaring thing that stands out. It's like, what, like, I don't know, just cut her from the episode. Like, she didn't have to be there.
There is one specific thing she contributes to that last episode. You kind of need her there for, because she's got the Infinity Smasher.
Right.
And I assume that comes up in their episode. Because if it doesn't, boy, is that going to look stupid. Hope someone got fired for that.
It's just a weird. It's just like it's not. She's not explained.
It's glaring.
It's just like, here's Gamora. You haven't seen her in any episodes up until now.
In a series that has like pretty meticulously thought about most things and introduced all of these characters for the end, the fact that Gamora just shows up is weird.
It's like glaring. It's like X-Men. Do you remember Jean Grey died?
Yes.
Like, they did the Dark Phoenix thing. Jean Grey died. And then in the next episode, she's just there. There was no explanation. And then I think they did an episode later where they like.
Look, I need to be completely honest with you. When do you think that episode was? Because I might have been 4.
I have no idea. But you can watch it on Disney Plus.
Oh shit, I might do that.
But yeah, they do the Dark Phoenix thing. Jean Grey dies, and then she's just there in the next episode anyway. It's so fucking. It was just like, what the fuck happened?
Maybe it was Madeline Pryor.
Maybe. We'll never know.
Comic readers will believe anything
unless they explain it in
fucking rubes.
The new X-Men show. But Yeah. Anyway, the Gamora thing. What's your second
Yeah.
stank?
My second stank. Similarly, I wasn't. There's nothing that really stands out to me as like negative about this show. It's mostly pretty good.
Hmm
If I did have to complain about one thing, and I do contractually, uh, the
It's
art
it's in your
slash
contract
animation
that you
style.
definitely signed. Yes.
Yep. The art slash animation style is mostly just kind of fine. It's serviceable. It gets the job done, but
Yeah.
there's nothing flashy about it. There's like occasionally it looks really good.
hmm
Mostly that's a lighting thing,
Yes.
as you've mentioned.
hmm
There are a couple of frames here and there where I'm like, that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
There's specifically one bit in the Doctor Strange episode where no, actually it's in the last episode where Doctor Strange like turns into a dragon.
hmm
That looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
And that is like 2% of the finished product. The rest of it is just kind of fine.
You know what it is?
What's
It's
that?
it's a lack of style. Like I feel like there needs to be like something more stylistically interesting to it. It's basically just like taken the MCU and made it cell shaded, and that's pretty
They've
much
definitely
it.
gone. They've definitely gone for like a low, like a not highly stylized, or lowly stylized, I guess.
Yeah.
Cartoonified MCU, and it works. You recognize who people are, but like, yeah, there's not a lot of personality to it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it looks fine. And some of the animation is really, really good. I like
Yeah.
a lot of the action and stuff, but because it lacks that, you know,
Mhm.
character,
Yeah.
it's just kind of it's something I won't think about after it's done. It's not like a Spider-Verse where I'm just like
Yeah.
I'll sometimes just think about the animation and then be like,
hmm
fuck, animation's cool.
Yeah. It is.
Whereas this, I'm like, that was a fun story.
Yeah. 2 weeks away from the new Ninja Turtles.
Oh fuck
That
yeah.
movie looks sick too.
Yeah, it does.
That's some style right there.
hella style.
But anyway, yes, I agree. It's just a very plain looking show with
I
some
don't want to
nice
say it
lighting
looks
every now and then.
bland, but it does kind of look bland.
Kind of does, yeah. Although fucking Doctor Strange is probably like the supreme Strange. He's probably like the most stylistically cool looking.
Yeah, he's actually. I think that episode probably has the most style to it in a
Yeah.
lot of sense. Like
Mhm.
that design is great. He's got a whole like Dracula sort of thing going on with the pointed goatee and the cloak.
Yeah.
There's also a bit where he like appears to die in a
Mhm.
fight with himself, and then he like jumps out of the other stranger's shadow at him, and it's the
Yeah.
sickest thing ever.
Yeah.
God damn. I might watch that episode again tonight.
It's a good episode. So there we go. Those are our Starks and our Stanks. Now comes the part of the show where we rank this. And I believe it's Josh's turn to
I mean,
go first.
I'll read it whenever. But do you want me to read the thing first?
Oh, yeah, read the thing first, and then you can tell me where you'd like to put this show.
Our current ranking of the MCU, we have number 1, Captain America the Winter Soldier. Number 2, Thor Ragnarok. Number 3, Avengers Endgame. Iron Man 3, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers Infinity War, Captain America Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, The Avengers, Black Panther, Captain America the First Avenger, Loki, Season 1, WandaVision, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man Homecoming, Iron Man, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Spider-Man Far From Home, Thor, Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Black Widow.
Captain
You missed
Marvel.
Black Widow.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, it must not have fucking updated because it is not in this list.
Black Widow is
Thanks.
between Falcon the Winter Soldier and Thor.
Add that in there now. Thank you. It's in between. Where was it?
It's at
Spider-Man and Thor.
yeah, Far From Home and Thor. It's in between there.
Okay, Spider-Man, Far From Home, Black Widow, Thor, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Avengers: Age of Ultron, The Incredible Hulk, Thor: The Dark World, and at the very bottom, Iron Man 2, where it will stay for time immemorial, forever.
Absolutely, it'll never move
until the universe collapses in on itself.
Exactly.
The rest of this list will disintegrate, but Iron Man 2 will be at the bottom still.
That's it. That's how it works.
Now, where would I put What If?
Where would you put What If?
I think just based on its premise alone,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that it has multiple cool heroes and villains and stories,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it has to go above Iron Man.
I agree.
Good. Oh god, no! I accidentally grabbed Iron Man 2. No,
No, don't move that.
No,
Don't do that.
No, that's not happening. Iron Man 2.
he tried to
Not
pull a
after
fast one on you.
Not after the speech I just gave. Whew, that was a close one. Okay, so it's above Iron Man.
Yes. How far above Iron Man?
It fixes two of the worst movies on this list. 3 maybe.
Fixes? I mean, it's What If.
It doesn't fix. It takes an alternate route and provides a preferable alternative to Iron Man 2,
Mm-hmm.
The Incredible Hulk, and Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yes.
These are all
okay. Mm-hmm.
So that's nice.
Yes.
But does that mean that it gets to go above anything else on this list?
Well, above Iron Man, we have Spider-Man: Homecoming. Is it better than Spider-Man: Homecoming?
This is where this is gonna get difficult, right? Because the other MCU series are basically just really long movies.
Yes.
And I can judge them as such.
Yes.
This is 100% a series-ass series.
Yes.
It
Up
is
until
not
the
one
end,
long movie.
where it kind of combines into one thing.
It becomes a mega episode.
Right.
So it makes it very difficult to judge these side by side.
Uh-huh.
I think Spider-Man: Homecoming has a lot going for it. I really love Teen Peter Parker in that.
Mm-hmm.
The Peter Parker personal superhero life balance is always one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Vulture's really fucking cool in it. It's funny. It's got good music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if What If makes it above Homecoming.
I agree.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think it's fine.
Why was I deliberating so long there?
I think it's fine above Iron Man, below Spider-Man: Homecoming, at number 17.
Yeah, I think
that's
it
a good
just deals
spot
with
for it.
so many different things that it's hard to push it any higher. It does really good with what it does, but it's not super ambitious. Also, it's got that Thor episode.
Yeah, and also it's also missing an episode.
Yeah, that too. It's incomplete. It is fundamentally incomplete.
Yeah, exactly.
We cannot say that about anything else in this top, however many above it.
Nope. I don't think so.
That feels complete.
No,
yeah.
none of these other ones feel incomplete. I feel like a whole thing.
I'm happy with that. I'm going to press save now.
All right.
In case it tries to fucking do that thing where it takes Black Widow out of it again.
Right.
So, at the end of week, how many of this?
This is number 28.
Have we done? The end of week 28, our standings are Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Thor: Ragnarok, Avengers: Endgame, Iron Man 3, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers: Infinity War, Captain America: Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, The Avengers, Black Panther, Captain America: The First Avenger, Loki, WandaVision, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and at number
17
is What If?
What if it was at number 17?
That's
Wonder No More.
What we live in now. Wonder No More? Oh, she died.
Wonder No More. All right.
Because she wasn't being fed enough people.
That's it. She's just gonna lay down for a while. I don't know. What are zombies? What are they?
What do zombies?
What
do? The eternal question.
What do zombies?
Welcome to my new series, my Marvel spin-off. What do?
Josh, I have great news.
Please
next
tell
week,
me there's great news.
Next week,
we're back to watching movies.
Get to watch a movie, and after that, we get to watch another movie.
Oh shit!
Two movies in a row.
Is that Shang-Chi and then Eternals?
Yeah.
That's exciting. I haven't watched Eternals since I saw it in theaters.
Sames.
And I have watched Shang-Chi, but that's because Shang-Chi fucking rules.
Sames. I've seen
really excited for
Shang-Chi maybe like 4 times, and Eternals just the once.
I think so. Not to give the game away, but I think Shang-Chi was the first movie from Phase 4 that I ranked in my top 10 originally.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good.
It's a good movie.
It's a very good movie. I'm excited.
So, next week, we will watch Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And that's...
Oh, I'm going to have to read that entire title out when I do the lists, aren't I? Shit.
Yeah. But hey, at least it's shorter than some of the later titles.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Man. Oh.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Oh no.
Now I have a question.
Well, this just cements it as me having to read the list, because if you have to read that, you're gonna have a fucking heart attack.
This is something we need to sort out soon.
Yeah.
I don't think we should watch this. There's a show, but I don't think it counts. And that's I Am Groot. It's on the list of MCU things, but it's like there's very short episodes and there's not that many of them. So I don't think it should count.
How about we definitely can't do a full episode about it?
No.
Because that would be done in 15 minutes. And
exactly.
That's being generous. We could talk about them briefly in like an aside during Guardians Volume 3.
Yeah.
Or, no, what if we lumped them in with the Guardians Christmas special?
All right, yeah. We can do
Just
that.
as a little bonus.
Sure.
A bonus ranking for Christmas. It won't be Christmas when we do that. It might be. Fuck it. Who knows?
Well, we've got... Oh, hang on. 1, 2,
yeah, how many...
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... Guardians, if we do one a week, Guardians will be in 11 weeks. So it's definitely not going to be Christmas.
No, it will be November, though.
It will be.
Close enough.
Which is when that came out. Came out November last year. So
yeah. And you know what? Like, if it's good enough for fucking shops in Australia to start selling things, then it's good enough for this podcast.
And hey, you know what? After that, we've only got, well, by that time, the Marvels will be out. So we'll only have 4 more episodes after Guardians Holiday Special.
I do have to ask, does that mean that Werewolf by Night will land around Halloween?
Yes.
Hey, we did it! We did some planning!
We didn't really do planning. Yeah. It's just kind of working out that way.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Very excited. Look,
but yes, we will.
Planning these things for Christmas? Great, cool, whatever. Planning for Halloween? Hell yeah.
Yes.
Halloween is my Christmas.
9 weeks will be Werewolf by Night, if my math is correct. So.
Yeah, so that's literally like the show before Halloween, I think. That works out really nicely.
Good job,
you
everyone.
Can't miss any.
We did it.
You missed the show. I swear to God.
There's no missing of episodes ever again. This train's
really good lately.
Gonna keep rolling.
It's we've done like otherwise it's dead.
Well, we've done like 4 in a row. 5.
I want to say 3.
1, 2, 3. This is our 4th in a row.
Is that 4th?
Yep.
So in the middle. We were both right and both wrong.
There you go. Anyway, we'll see you again next week for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Goodbye.
10.
Is that what I said? Did I say 10?
You did, and I was like,
oh, good.
10.
Oh, okay. You were just showing people what 10 looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all the audio listeners at home, I have all my fingers out.
Good job. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Are you Tony Stank?
I am Iron Man.
Stank, stank, stank.
Genius billionaire playboy from up the east.
You stank. You stank.
I am Iron Man.